Today I just want to talk about what I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and now I feel like I actually can. It's going to be about my sperm donor slash bio parent. He had created me back in about like 25 years ago with my mom. He was married to my mom. I call him my sperm donor because he doesn't deserve the title dad, in case anybody was wondering. But, so anyways, him and my mom got divorced, and then my dad that I have now, he adopted me, which I love him to pieces. Like, he's my dad. He is my hero, my favorite person in the world. And then, like, after he signed his rights away, I had turned 18. And, well, I guess when I turned 18, my mom showed me a message that said, hey, if I ever needed anything, that he'd be there and that he'd be willing to help out. There's my cat. And I had a car at the time, and my mom messaged him asking for $50 to give me for new tires. Well, he was nowhere to be found. And then I got curious growing up as to, I found a birth certificate as to who, like, the person on my birth certificate was. And before I graduated high school, I had found my half brother. His name is Robert. And when I had found him and I were talking, and I invited him and my sperm donor to my graduation. And my sperm donor didn't even have the courage to come up to me on my graduation to say hi to me. My cousins did come over and they, hugged me and everything. Fast forward, I tried for years to build a relationship with him. For years I tried. And it was always we'd talk for a few months, but then it was like he'd disappear and I could never find him. And so I just kind of like gave up a little bit and I was just done, because that's just not something or someone that I want personally in my life. And then I know there was a few years ago, I had dated some girls in my past. One of them happened to be deaf. Her name was Alex. And I had introduced her to him as my girlfriend at the time. And then, we broke up. It was kind of a bad breakup. But anyways, I'm pretty good with sign language and stuff, and I'm pretty fluent in it. Anyways, so a few years ago, about, I want to say 2000 and ending like 2018. Yeah, ending 2018. I figured I'd try again and try to, one more time to build a relationship with him. And I gave him my ground rules as to what I expected, which were, if he wanted to be a part of my life, he had to talk to me every day. He had, even if it was just a, hey, how are you? If he wanted me to go somewhere or be a part of a family function, he had to be the one to invite me, not a third party, not his wife reaching out to me, or soon-to-be wife, not his, like my half-brother, not, anybody related to him reaching out to me to invite me to somewhere that he's not inviting me to. So he agreed and we were talking and stuff. Well, 2 weeks, a couple weeks before his wedding, he messaged me and asked if I was going to go to his wedding. And I told him, I was like, I wasn't sure because, I didn't know my work schedule at the time. And then it was just, his wedding came and I couldn't go or whatnot. And, I actually was considering of like going and trying and being a part of, his life again and all of this, and like letting him into my life. And I wasn't comfortable yet with, calling him dad because he didn't earn that title yet. Well, I come to find out, I got nosy kind of thing, and I was curious as to why he had stopped talking to me. And so I snooped his social media to see what was going on. Well, I found out that he had invited my ex-girlfriend, Alex, to his wedding, and he went around social media as well as at the party and had bragged about the fact that he had a daughter, and that, it was great to have a father-daughter dance, and that, he loves her so much. So I found out by that they kept in contact, and that he considers her his daughter, and that, like, he showed her off as his child, like they still talk, they still communicate, all of that. So I had it. I was like, nope, I'm done. I told both his wife and him off on that day, and I actually drank a lot. And I'm not a normal drinker. Like, I don't really drink, but I did drink that night. I even called my boyfriend, and I, told him, because I was super upset about it. And it really hurt my feelings. It was like a slap to my face. Like, oh, you want to be in my life and everything, and you want to try to be dad, but yet you go around and you're calling somebody else that's not even biologically related to you your child? Like, okay, because that makes complete sense. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I ended things, and I was done. And I had no communication, didn't speak to him, didn't talk to him, didn't send him any messages, because I was done. I really was done. Well, then last year in April, I got a message from his wife's daughter, Kristen. And she had messaged me to let me know that he had had a stroke. Well, I really don't care, honestly. Like, he hasn't been in my life. We don't communicate. We don't talk. When, things get hard or whatever, he runs away or disappears, and then he blames it on me, and he plays the victim card. And I don't like that, because I've played victim several times, and it's not a good feeling. It's just not. It's pretty bad, actually. And I told her, I had nothing to do with him, and that I'm sorry that her mom was going through that, but to not contact me again. And she had given me, like, her mom's phone number, to reach out, whatever. But then I find out, like, after saying that, it was, I want to say, like, 6 months later, my mom received a message from him to reach out to me. I think it was back in September of last year, to reach out to me to let me know that he had had a stroke, and that he had been trying to reach out to me, which that is completely false, because if he had been trying, he would have found some way or found somebody to message me to let me know, other than his wife's daughter. And to be honest, fairly honest, he really doesn't care about me. He really does not want anything to do with me or have any form of a relationship with me. The only reason why he's trying to reach out or trying to build something with me is because his wife wants him to. Now, I don't know what kind of sad sob story, victim playing story he has told her, but it's just annoying. And so I reached out to his wife, and I pretty much told her off, and told her, like, hey, like, leave me alone, like, stop messaging my family, stop, bothering me, stop contacting me, blah, 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 all this and that. And then it was like, we kind of got to talking, and, like, I personally was like, I'll try again, just because of, like, what she was saying, and I was like, all right, like, if he really wants this, like, I'll try again. I'm a nice person. I give people so many chances, and, and then they just fail, and it sucks. But anyways, so I was like, okay, whatever, like, I'll try, and she even said in her message, like I tell my daughter and stuff, like, own your stuff. But she said, she said a different word. Well, I've been owning my stuff for quite some time now, and I am pretty proud of myself for where I've actually come from, and how I became, where I'm at today. Like, if it wasn't for my parents that I have, like, I wouldn't be where I'm at. If it wasn't for my family, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for, the boyfriend that I have, I wouldn't be here. So I've been owning a lot of my, past mistakes and stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll own up to my stuff. Whatever. And then, she gave him my phone number because I was like, we'll try again. And, we got to talking a little bit. And of course, I don't want him to know where I live. So I told him I live in New York. Which, to be honest, like, he hadn't earned the ability to know where I live, let alone the ability to, like, be anything at that point. It was just, his name is James. That's all he is to me. He's just nothing right now. Well, come to find out, like, we're talking and stuff. And of course, like, he called me out on my stuff on, telling him that I lived in New York, which was true. Like, I don't live in New York, but it really isn't any of his business as to where I live. And until I felt comfortable enough to open up more to him and for him to actually, like, want to be a part of my life, then I would open up and tell him stuff about my life. And, it got to the point where it was like, I was getting done with it. Part of his message that he had sent me, which was back in November of last year, when I considered letting him back in and trying again. And he outed me on when I told him that I lived in New York, which, okay, that's cool. I really don't care and stuff. But then he tries to say, whatever you do in your life, you will always be my daughter. I might have said some things that hurt you, but I'm never meant to hurt. And with Alex, she will always be a friend. No matter how you feel, I don't throw friends away. I'll stop calling her my daughter, but not giving her up as a friend. And since, we've done a lot in our lives, I had the stroke, not knowing if I make it or not. Life is short and everyone reaches out to you when it happened, because that was one thing I miss in all this, that my only daughter didn't give a damn about me. That made me feel hurt. But I always did think and love you, my one and only daughter, and I do love you. So when you want to talk and all, I'm here. First of all, I'm not his child. Like, yes, he created me. He helped my mom create me. He gave his sperm to my mom when they were married and created me. Okay. Secondly, you don't call somebody's ex your child. You don't go around bragging about them. Okay, yeah, you can be friends and all, but you just don't do that. Like, that's just stupid. And it just, that's a slap in the face to the child. Like, it's like, hey, like, I'm not even married to this person, and you're calling her or him like your son or your daughter. Like, okay, like, my parents are friends with some of my friends, and they don't go around calling them their child. They like some of my friends, and they keep in contact, and they say, hey, like, how's it going? But they never once, post them on social media saying, look at my beautiful daughter. No, they don't do that at all. Okay. And secondly, like, he's not my dad. He's not. He has never been my dad. He has never been there. And now all of a sudden, because he had a stroke, he wants to be a part of my life again and try to, be dad that, he could have been. He signed his rights away. He signed his rights away years ago, and he signed his rights away because he didn't want to pay child support to my mom. He didn't want to pay the back child support to my mom. So that's why he signed his rights away. I've seen all the paperwork. I've seen everything. And, what kind of parent, who doesn't want to pay child support signs their rights away and then expects to be in their child's life again once they turn 18? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, you sign, unless, you're in a situation to where it's like, hey, like, you're young, you can't afford a baby right now, and you're not prepared to have a baby, so you give your child up because it's the best thing for them. That is understandable. Like, 100%, like, that's your choice. Okay, that's cool. And if later down, you want to see your kid because you've grown up and you're like, hey, like, I'm sorry, but this was the best way, kind of thing. That's cool. I've seen lots of parents do that. I've seen lots, I know I have friends and families who've done that and know a lot of people who've done that. And, they're doing just fine and stuff. And yeah, like, it sucks when you have to give a kid away, but it's like, if it's because you just physically just can't right now, like, okay, like, more props to you. Like, you're trying to get your life together. Him, on the other hand, all I remember is that anytime I would go visit him, he had a new girlfriend, a new apartment, a new place. And that's what I remembered when growing up with him. And then it was like, he gave up on me. He didn't want to have a second child. He had one child. He didn't want to pay for me. He didn't want to support me. He didn't want any of that. So he signed his rights away. Don't know what he told his wife, probably some sad sob story saying, oh, like, it was the best thing for her. I had to give her up because, like, it was the right choice. No, you gave me up because you don't want to pay child support. Like, that's pretty much it. You don't want to pay child support. You don't want to pay back child support. Like, literally. Come on, man. Like, own your stuff too. Like, you need to be honest. You need to, not try to beat around the bush or try to make some sob story so everybody feels bad for you. No. Like, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. And so we got into it, and I did, the last time we spoke before I'd reconnected was the fact that, I told him off because I was mad. The fact that, he's going around calling some other girl his kid when she's not his. And then he tries to tell me that the reason that he couldn't go up to me on my graduation and stuff was because my family, surrounded me and all. But my mom and my grandparents invited him to my graduation, which, first of all, that's completely false. Okay, my grandparents don't even talk to him. Like, what the heck? What kind of lie do you have in your head that just makes you think that my grandmother, first of all, would even contact you or call you to be like, yeah, your grandchild is graduating? No. Like, my mom didn't reach out at all. Neither did my aunt. None of my family reached out at all to you. And so I don't know where you came up with this. Oh, it wasn't just you who reached out. Like, your family reached out and invited me to. No, I've seen the messages. I've seen everything. There was not one message sent to you saying, hey, come to your child's high school graduation. No, that's some BS right there. And sorry, but it's true. And then, as we're talking, so in part of his message, he pretty much said, after he outed me not being in New York, saying that, you expect me to believe you have a child, but I don't. I'm sorry. Your mom or anyone would have had or have pictures of your child on social media. Okay, that right there, that's stalking. Because, first of all, you don't just go on people's profile or social media to get information or pictures of, what's going on in your kid's life. If your kid wanted you to know that, your kid would tell you. They would share that with you. First of all, I wasn't even comfortable enough yet of sharing that with you or, showing you pictures or giving you pictures until I felt comfortable enough that, like, okay, hey, you deserve to know some stuff. You deserve to be a part of my life. You deserve to, see what's going on. But no, you flat out literally are stalking me on social media. Like, that's flipping creepy, okay, and scary on top of that, because my entire social media is private, as well as my family's. My entire family's is 100% private. So I don't know how in the heck you're able to get this information. Like, who you have stalking my social media and my family's social media just so you can keep an eye on me to, and all of that. And then you say, I want to be a father, but where were you when I first tried to build that relationship with you? You don't get to just have a stroke and then all of a sudden want to be dad. It doesn't work like that. You're my sperm donor. That's all you are to me. You are not dad. You are nobody to me. And I hope you know that, James. And then you'll try to call me and say my entire full name. You didn't earn that right. You don't get that right to call me by my full name whatsoever. I don't care who you are. Until you've been in my life for more than 3 months and you stay in my life and you don't just go in and out and then decide one day like, oh, hey, like, let's get, back together of building a relationship as if nothing happened. No, it doesn't work that way. Sorry. But you lost that privilege the second you signed your rights away and the second that you signed that paper on the dotted line. You also lost that privilege of calling me anything when you decided, you really don't have any contact with me. And the only reason why you are reaching out or having anything to do with me is because your wife wants you to. That's literally it. If it wasn't for your wife saying, oh, you need to, be a part of your kid's life, you would have left me the heck alone years ago. But it's because your wife wants you to do it, not you. You understand? And then, let's see, in this other message, he says, I know more about you than you think I do. First of all, like, okay, where are you getting your information? Who do you have that is spying on me and my family? And again, that's stalking. If I wanted to give you anything about my life or share anything with you, I would have told you personally. But you didn't earn that. You did not earn anything. And I'm sorry, but until you had earned that, you didn't deserve to know anything about me. Except for maybe like what my favorite color was or is. Sorry. And then, like, it's kind of getting heated and we're going back and forth a little bit. And he tries to be like, I'm done arguing with you. Like, if you want to talk normal, then, maybe message me later kind of thing. No. But then it's like in November, this is still November, it's like the next day, he messages me and says, I'm glad you were happy. Word of mouth is you were at your mom's house 5 days ago and you kicked a soccer ball that turned pink. By the way, congratulations on having a girl. Never once told him that. Never once told him about having a kid, about, being pregnant or anything, being at my mom's. Not once did I mention that at all. So how in the heck did he know where I was? That's stalking. Again, that's literally stalking. Sorry, that's creepy. And that's stalking, and that's terrifying. That freaking terrified me. That mortified me. That you are able to sit there and go or get information about me and then say, oh, like, I know this about you, and share and confess that. Literally, it says that right here. Where it says, let's see, word of mouth right here. That's a conversation that he sent me. It is highlighted. Hopefully you can see that and read that. Okay, like, who's a word of mouth? Who told you? Because none of my family did. My mom doesn't talk to you at all. If she did, she would have responded to you when you sent her the message and back in September of you having a stroke. She's had nothing to do with you for years. Like, what the heck do you think now? What makes you think now that all of a sudden my mom's gonna, oh my gosh, let me reach out to you, or let me reach out to Kayla, or, you know, let me reach out to my daughter because, oh, she you know, she needs to know that her sperm donor had a stroke. Okay, no, sorry. My mom, my mom does not even talk to you, buddy. So I don't know what's in your head, but you got to get that through your head. Like, nobody in my family talks to you or reaches out to you or gives you any information about me. So good try though. Good try. But then, you know, it gets, you know, a little scary. You know, I'm pretty scared right now with him saying that. And then he tries to be like, you know, I could have done things differently, and I'm sorry if you can't forgive me. That's your choice, but I'll never forget you. You are my daughter, and I never gave up loving you no matter what you thought or heard. Nothing can come between a dad and his daughter. And then calls me by my full name. Again, which he didn't deserve the right. And on top of that message, like, yeah, nothing can come between a dad and daughter, which he's not my dad at all. He never was, never will be. I have a bond with my dad, and it's great. Like, I love him so much, and I would never trade him for the world. James, on the other hand, he's not my dad, so I don't know what kind of bond he thinks that we have that's in his head somewhere. Like, he's freaking crazy. And so I had to, you know, talk to my uncle and everything. This is pretty much my life story for the most part. And ask him, like, how do I get him to leave me alone? Because, you know, like, I wanted nothing to do with him at all. I don't want anything to do with him anymore, especially after he literally confessed to stalking me. And I still have all the messages here. So I don't know, you know, what kind of story he's telling you there, Miss Angie, which is, you know, his wife. But maybe you need to dig just a little deeper into his story, because I'm telling you the truth, and I'm owning it. I'm owning everything. I'm owning everything that I've ever done. But him, on the other hand, he hasn't owned anything. And whatever he's told you, I'm sorry, but it's not true. So then I send him a message, you know, and I told him, you know, like, stop playing victim. You know, it's not cute, whatever. Like, I've played victim, and that he's playing victim and all this. Pretty much, whatever. Then I send him this message, and it says, do not contact me anymore. Do not contact me in any way, shape, or form. I don't want any communication with anyone that is associated with him. And I completely said his full name. I don't want anyone associated with James Lineberger. That's his name. Any further communication will be considered harassment. And I sent that to him on the 13th of November of last year. Well, I don't understand what point of do not contact me do neither of you understand, because I sent that to not only him, but I sent that to his wife, Angie. And she agreed after I sent that and stated and said, and I quote, "You got it. Stop contacting me as well." Okay. So, never contacted them. So then November of Thanksgiving, he wishes me and my family a happy Thanksgiving and to eat lots of turkey and all, and to be careful. Okay, whatever. And as soon as he did that, I literally filed a restraining order. And it took literally until this year for him to get served, because I didn't have his address and I didn't know where he lived. So I had to hire a private investigator to find him so I could figure out where he lived so I could get him served. But anyways, so then, okay, after saying the happy Thanksgiving, whatever, didn't respond, because, you know, I don't understand why somebody doesn't understand what part of don't contact me anymore do you not understand? I haven't spoken to you in years until now, and then now all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to send you a message. Well, so it's getting close to Christmas last year. December 23rd, he sends me this message, and he says, just wanted to let you know your grandma, my mom, is not doing good. She's very sick at home. If you could at least give a call, she'll hopefully make it through the night. Just thought you would like to know. I haven't had any relationship with any part of that family, especially grandma or his mom, since I was like 5. Okay. The last time I saw her was at my grandpa's funeral, but I still don't have any relationship to either of those grandparents because I haven't seen them since I was like 5, and I only went to my grandpa's funeral because I was there to support my aunt and I was there with my mom. That's literally it. That's the only reason why I went. I didn't go there to, be there to be like, oh, like, yeah, it sucks grandparents die and stuff, like, but I didn't have a relationship with me, so it didn't affect me at all. I even had a lady who sat right next to me at that funeral and got upset because I didn't cry at the funeral. And she literally looked at me and was like, how dare you not be sad or cry or show any emotion to your grandfather's funeral? Like, how dare you? Okay, lady, like, first of all, like, I haven't seen any of them since I was 5. So I don't even know them. How in the heck am I supposed to feel bad or cry that they died if I haven't seen them since I was 5? Like, what? That makes no sense at all. But okay, sure. Then, so, after that message, the next day, which is Thursday, the 24th, I get another, text message at 10:44 in the morning saying, Grandma is on her last breath. Any time now, just thought you want to know. Okay? And here, Angie, look, just so you can see that this is from your husband. This isn't even the rest of it. But there's your proof that he sent those messages. Okay? Look, I really don't care. I'm sorry that your mom is dying. I'm really sorry. But I have no affiliation with her, like, whatsoever. Why are you telling me this? Why didn't you reach out to my Aunt Ely? Why didn't you reach out to my cousins? My cousin called you or called a grandma to talk to her, and every one of you told her no because she was sleeping. Okay, you could have been like, hey, she's sick. You should come down before she dies. But you didn't. You didn't do that. And I know this because I seen the messages, and not one of you reached out at all to them. Not one. Then, okay, here's the next, messages that I get. The next day at 10:44 in the morning, which is a Thursday, it's Christmas Eve. Okay, the 24th. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me go back. Yeah, no, so that message was from Christmas Eve. Sorry, I got a little mixed up there with the messages. The next day, it's Christmas. He says, Merry Christmas. Hope you are having a good Christmas. That's Friday on the 25th of December, okay? And I'm like, I'm literally ignoring him because I have nothing to do with him. I literally said, don't contact me. Like, what person in their right mind continues to send messages and blow up their, somebody's phone? Doesn't make any sense. So then, the day after Christmas, at 12:15 in the afternoon, he pretty much is trying to manipulate and guilt trip me into trying to contact him after telling him to leave me alone. And this is what his message says. If you have any feeling toward Grandma, I would like if you call or stop by to say goodbye, I'll make sure I won't be here. I do have some pictures and paperwork about why you think I gave up on you. Maybe if you read it, it would give you a better reason as to why. Okay, you don't send somebody a text message trying to manipulate or guilt trip them into